Anime has increased dramatically in popularity on numerous streaming providers over the last several years. Hulu and HBO Max have begun to add a large quantity of anime to their platforms, but Netflix still has the most selection. While anime-specific sites such as Crunchyroll and Funimation may still offer a larger selection of anime, Netflix has been releasing hundreds of new anime weekly and even producing some very outstanding series. With so many anime options, we decided it was time to look at some of the finest anime released on Netflix that you can binge. This wasn't a simple list to put together, but we hope my fellow otaku discover some of their favorites on here, as well as some new shows to check out. Number 10, B, The Beginning. On the islands of Cremona, a vigilante runs amok. Celebrated by some and hunted by others, the notorious Killer Bee takes justice into his own hands, armed with a sharp blade and superhuman abilities. Unable to apprehend this renegade, the Royal Investigation Service, RIS, calls upon the expertise of Keith Flick, a seasoned, yet eccentric detective who was relegated to the archives department following a personal loss. As crimes in Cremona begin to escalate, from stealthy executions of wrongdoers to sophisticated strikes on public figures, it soon becomes clear that there is more than one person responsible. With the help of his impulsive sidekick Lily Hoshina, and unexpected aid from the elusive Killer Bee himself, Keith begins to unravel plots involving secret organizations, domestic terrorism, and human experiments. When the involvement of the RIS extends beyond the scope of justice, the extent of the government's corruption, as well as the trustworthiness of close allies, are thrown into question. This action, mystery, supernatural, suspense show is an original anime and has 12 episodes with 2 seasons. Number 9, Kakagurui. Unlike many schools, attending Hyakau Private Academy prepares students for their time in the real world. Since many of the students are the children of the richest people in the world, the academy has its quirks that separate it from all the others. By day, it is a normal school, educating its pupils in history, languages, and the like. But at night, it turns into a gambling den, educating them in the art of dealing with money and manipulating people. Money is power. Those who come out on top in the game stand at the top of the school. Yumiko Jabami, a seemingly naive and beautiful transfer student, is ready to try her hand at Hyakau's special curriculum. Unlike the rest, she doesn't play to win, but for the thrill of the gamble, and her borderline insane way of gambling might just bring too many new cards to the table. This drama, mystery, show is adapted from the manga series of the same name and has 12 episodes with 2 seasons. Number 8, The Daily Life of Immortal King. As a cultivation genius who has achieved a new realm every 2 years since he was a year old, Wang Ling is a near invincible existence with prowess far beyond his control. But now that he's 16, he faces his greatest battle yet, senior high school. With one challenge after another popping up, his plans for a low-key high school life seem further and further away. This adventure, comedy, fantasy, slice of life, show is adapted from the Chinese novel of the same name and has 15 episodes with 2 seasons with 1 on its way. Number 7, Agretsuko. Whether it be facing misogynistic remarks from her boss or being pressured by condescending coworkers, stress is just another part of the job for 25-year-old Red Panda Ritsuko. Despite being one of the most diligent workers at her office, her diminutiveness and modesty often lead her to be exploited by her colleagues. However, when her irritation hits the limit, Ritsuko brings forth her unique brand of letting off steam, aggressive death metal karaoke bashing the idiocy and hypocrisy of her co-workers' actions and work life. Although this venting only takes place in her mind, it gives her an outlet to counter her frustration in a world where hierarchy and appearances reign supreme. This comedy, slice of life, show is based on the eponymous character created by Yeti for the mascot company Sanrio and has 3 seasons with 1 on its way. Number 6, Blue Period. Second-year high school student Yatara Yaguchi is a delinquent with excellent grades, but is unmotivated to find his true calling in life. Yatara spends his days working hard to maintain his academic standing while hanging out with his equally unambitious friends. However, beneath his carefree demeanor, Yatara does not enjoy either activity and wishes he could find something more fulfilling. While mulling over his predicament, Yatara finds himself staring at a vibrant landscape of Shibuya. Unable to express how he feels about the unusually breathtaking sight, he picks up a paintbrush, hoping his thoughts will be conveyed on canvas. After receiving praise for his work, the joy he feels sends him on a journey to enter the extremely competitive Tokyo University of the Arts, a school that only accepts 1 in every 200 applicants. Facing talented peers, a lack of understanding of the fine arts, and struggles to obtain his parents' approval, Yatara is confronted by much adversity. In the hopes of securing one of the 5 prestigious spots in his program of choice, Yatara must show that his inexperience does not define him. This drama, slice of life, show is adapted from the manga of the same name and has 12 episodes with only one season. Number 5, Devilman Crybaby. Devils cannot take form without a living host. However, if the will of an individual is strong enough, they can overcome the demon and make its power their own, becoming a Devilman. Weak and unassuming, Akira Fadu has always had a bleeding heart. So when his childhood friend Ryo Asuka asks for his help in uncovering devils, Akira accepts without hesitation. However, to Akira's surprise, the place they go to is Sabbath, an immoral party of debauchery and degeneracy. Amidst bloodshed and death, demons possess the partiers, turning their bodies into grotesque monsters, and begin wreaking havoc. In a reckless attempt to save his best friend, Akira unwittingly merges with the devil Amon and becomes a Devilman, gaining the power to defeat the remaining demons. Though it grants him great power, this new partnership awakens an insatiable and primeval part of Akira. Having the body of a devil but the same crybaby heart, Akira works alongside Ryo, destroying those that harm humanity and his loved ones. This action, avant-garde, horror, supernatural, show is adapted from the manga of the same name and has 10 episodes with only one season. Number 4, Beastars. In a civilized society of anthropomorphic animals, an uneasy tension exists between carnivores and herbivores. At Cherryton Academy, this mutual distrust peaks after a predation incident results in the death of Tem, an alpaca in the school's drama club. Tem's friend Legoshi, a gray wolf in the stage crew, has been an object of fear and suspicion for his whole life. In the immediate aftermath of the tragedy, he continues to lay low and hide his menacing traits, much to the disapproval of Louis, a red deer and the domineering star actor of the drama club. When Louis sneaks into the auditorium to train Tem's replacement for an upcoming play, he assigns Legoshi to lookout duty. That very night, Legoshi has a fateful encounter with Haru, a white dwarf rabbit scorned by her peers. His growing feelings for Haru, complicated by his predatory instincts, force him to confront his own true nature, the circumstances surrounding the death of his friend, and the undercurrent of violence plaguing the world around him. This drama, slice of life, show is adapted from the manga of the same name and has 12 episodes with 2 seasons. Number 3, Magi, The Labyrinth of Magic. A magi is a magician whose inclination toward magic is so immense that they can be said to shape the world. With their significant influence, each magi chooses a worthy candidate to become a king, then helps them conquer strange labyrinths called dungeons and acquire the power of mythical genes within. Above all else, the magi supervises their elected representative as they build a country that might one day bring the world to its knees. Aladdin is a young magi wandering the world in search of his true self. However, his journey is not a lonely one, as he is accompanied by his friend and mentor Ugo, a jinn he summons using his flute. In his travels, Aladdin also befriends Alibaba Saluya and guides him to a nearby dungeon. With this newfound friendship, they begin an epic adventure across the world, witnessing various irregularities that seem more frequent than ever. This action, adventure, fantasy, show is adapted from the manga of the same name and has 25 episodes with 2 seasons. Number 2, Rascal Don't Dream About Bunny Girl Senpai. The rare and inexplicable puberty syndrome is thought of as a myth. It is a rare disease which only affects teenagers, and its symptoms are so supernatural that hardly anyone recognizes it as a legitimate occurrence. However, high school student Sakuta Atsusagawa knows from personal experience that it is very much real, and happens to be quite prevalent in his school. Mai Sakurajima is a third-year high school student who gained fame in her youth as a child actress, but recently halted her promising career for reasons unknown to the public. With an air of unapproachability, she is well known throughout the school, but none dare interact with her, that is until Sakuta sees her wandering the library in a bunny girl costume. Despite the getup, no one seems to notice her, and after confronting her, he realizes that she is another victim of puberty syndrome. As Sakuta tries to help Mai through her predicament, his actions bring him into contact with more girls afflicted with the elusive disease. This comedy, drama, romance, supernatural, show is adapted from the light novel of the same name and has 13 episodes with only 1 season. And finally number 1, Horimiya. On the surface, the thought of Kyuko Hori and Azumi Miyamura getting along would be the last thing in people's minds. After all, Hori has a perfect combination of beauty and brains, while Miyamura appears meek and distant to his fellow classmates. However, a fateful meeting between the two lays both of their hidden selves bare. Even though she is popular at school, Hori has little time to socialize with her friends due to housework. On the other hand, Miyamura lives under the noses of his peers, his body bearing secret tattoos and piercings that make him look like a gentle delinquent. Having opposite personalities yet sharing odd similarities, the two quickly become friends and often spend time together in Hori's home. As they both emerge from their shells, they share with each other a side of themselves concealed from the outside world. This comedy, drama, romance, supernatural show is adapted from the manga of the same name and has 13 episodes with only one season. So, there you have it. 10 anime you can binge on Netflix. And that's been it. Thank you for watching. Catch you guys in the next one. Peace.